Welcome to the High-Tech Investments News Report for Week 9. The news report covers some of the many investments projects High-Tech Investments is currently involved in so you can follow our progress. We hope you will enjoy this news feed and look forward to your comments and remarks.
Hi, Bo here, and welcome back to this week's news report that has plenty of news from different CEOs. The first one is actually Stefan from Yield Notes. Second one we also heard a bit back from this particular week was Birake on the Trillant platform, and that seemed a bit more like amateur hour. And then on top of this, we also had a chance to talk to Elevate Pass CEO, Raphael. We're going to give you all the details, all the info that we have. And of course, we also have all our trading, which again seems to have done extremely well. We hear a bit from Expert Forex. So all of this in the positive light. Let's get started. And what better place to start here than what we basically told you last week. Stefan's going to talk to Liam here, which runs the Yield Notes Facebook. And he just managed to get the video out just before we basically shooting this video. So we took a couple of quick notes. And of course, we will also make sure that the link is in the video description below so you can see for yourself all the details that are coming out. Now we took a couple of bullet points here just for you to understand what is actually coming. And if you remember, I already met up with Urs a couple of weeks ago at the Yield Notes Hub and saw some of the things that are coming. It looks very interesting. Some of these things are here now, which is great. And the first one that we see is the Yield Notes claim sales page here basically will change. And that will go from what you have seen in the previous weeks. It will stop temporarily just about mid-March, and then you will start with the NFT going forward in early April. So if it's going to be exactly the 1st of April or early April, most probably. On top of this, also part of that video interview here, Yield Notes told us that the 5% will continue to come in, also when it goes over to the NFT. And there's going to be some more tutorials, so there's no need to urgent basically try and exchange them. So he mentions there is plenty of time to do this. There will also be some tutorials that will come out to make sure that people will do this. He says it's very, very simple. So we are definitely hoping that that is the way to go. Also, he again emphasizes in this interview here that the masternoding will continue. But obviously, it also requires some volume within these, but they are being masternoded. Nothing has really changed in here. Now, the next part here is also the new staff. And you might have seen my video a couple of weeks ago when I actually just shot a short one from the Malta Hub. And they now say they have about 20 applicants and they need about 6 or 7 people. So they're doing some interviews, giving them some tests to make sure they only get the best of the best. Hopefully, that will also see some nice improvements overall. So for the Yield Notes and the Decenomy system here. And then also we got some numbers out of Steve saying basically the people that are committing. So to the new system here, there's about 200 asset providers. And overall, those 200 asset providers have roughly 360 million turnover, which is obviously great for us as having Decenomy coins and also being part of Yield Notes, because the bigger turnover you will have, most probably the higher coin price you will also have over time. Obviously, everything needs to be kickstarted again. As you will see, things are still not going so well for the different Decenomy coins. At one point, yes, they are going a bit up, but quickly down again. But at least good news coming out of there. And it continues to be positive. And as I mentioned before, definitely also what I got out of the meeting. So with the different Yield Notes and Decenomy staff when I was in the hub here last time was that everybody is hands-on and really working hard to make sure that this will work, hopefully before the end of 2023. And this is again the balance for available sales that will only be available for another 2 weeks. After that, it will change into NFT instead. So don't panic if you can't access this in the near future. Having a look at the SAPP and Sapphire coin, again, we can see the return on the investment has been lowered a bit on the iHost MN site. And this goes actually for all the coins that we're going to have a look at today. It was 70% return on the investment per year. So last week, this week, it is down to 65. But overall, we are still getting about 2.5% on our SAPP coins, which is not too bad. But overall coin development in the last week has not been a very positive one. And again, the graph looks something like this. It is very, very flat at the moment. We are not really going to go into too much details on these graphs because they are pretty much status quo. It's minute changes that are happening to the coins on a weekly basis. Also, PNY is definitely pretty dead in the water at the moment. Yes, we are getting some returns. Last week it was 62.7%. Now that one is also down by about 5% per year, but we are still cashing in sort of 8% in the last week, which is definitely not too bad. So you can see that our amount of coins overall has gone up to 974%. Bad part, of course, is that with the current coin development, it doesn't look very good. It is stable and status quo pretty much at the moment, but we are still in minus 94%. So definitely we have to wait and see. We have to see that when everything comes into the market again, the optimism, things like this, that might still be a couple of months away. And as you can see, the graph itself is flat as a pancake. Nothing much has definitely moved in the last week. Birake, something happens normally here, a bit up, a bit down, and we are still also here below. Return on the investment per year last week was 173%, down this week again by another 5% or so, but that still means that we are getting about 2.5, about 10%, sorry, yeah. So from what we had last week, which is great, so that is a very good development, a lot of percentage just over the 1 week. But overall coin development has gone on the negative side. But again, this comes and goes as it is right now, and we are not really too concerned about it. Graph itself looks like this, and again, it is flattening out, but still it could go even further down. But as we said, we have to wait and see in the next couple of months and see exactly when Yieldnode starts to implement this. A lot of positive vibes, I'm sure, will start to come back with the different investors, and price will move up. Price hasn't moved up when it comes to Bitcoin versus the USDT here. And we can see that last week we actually ended off just over 24,000, which was a nice high. So for a long time since then it dropped, and then it has recovered a bit again. Currently it's running around the 23,400 mark. So obviously it's still a lot better than what we have seen it with the all-time lows of 16,000 or about 18, where it traded on a couple of months ago. Elevate Pass, we mentioned before, we spoke to the CEO, and for week 9, still no profits overall. And last week I mentioned here also that Raphael should have some information coming out. He could confirm that it would come out in March. He promised me that he was going to tell me exactly when. And when I know that, I will of course also inform the rest of you. So we hope that he's going to keep his promise here and have a look at what exciting things are coming. We do believe most of the things that he's going to talk about here is about the CoinFriend portal and development of this. I also know in the background that he is working hard at trying to recover part of the lost funds that the CFO basically mishandled here as part of the trading. And hopefully he will also have some news for us at one given point that I can share with you. On top of this, we had also on the weekend, so again, the Trillant meeting. So with the CEO, we haven't heard from him in a while. But to me, it turned a bit in like amateur hour. There was not really many positive things to take out of this. And I most probably will do a bit of a video just to go into some details as to what has happened here. The only good thing we can see is also what we noted on last week's news report. And that was basically that there's no limits to take the tree out anymore in March. But I don't think this matters to too many people. Even though a lot of sales has been going on, and that has dropped the price even lower now. And in the last week, we will see the price has dropped by 2/3, which is again massive drops here. And it doesn't really make any sense at the moment to go and sell any of this off. We still have to wait until the stablecoin comes into place. And that is the next disappointing part, which we certainly don't understand or have any sort of positive news about, because all we got from the CEO here was that they're not really ready for it, and it takes time to introduce these things. And for us, it doesn't really hang together, because it was more than a year ago. We were in, or almost a year ago, back in May in Miami, where all these things were actually discussed as it was, so 10 months ago. And both the Trill and the tree was discussed at the same time. The tree was ready for August here for the launch. And obviously the exchange opened up then in, November, December. So they had plenty of time also to list the second coin here, and they already had a bit of a path on how to do this. So very, very disappointing to see now that it's not going to happen in the first quarter after all. I think most people were looking forward to this in March. Now we are talking about maybe April, or maybe at the end of the second quarter. So you will have to wait another 3 or 4 months. And that's why I'm saying it definitely amateur hour. On top of this, there's also now issues and concerns about banking licenses that not even the CEO seems to be able to reply probably to. And again, very, very strange development. So, and not the best meeting if you want to take new people in. The last part that also was discussed, it seems like a lot of people is very upset about this raffle and giving away luxury sports cars when they can't really get the new tree out. Yes, they can get the other or get the Trill out, they can get the tree out, but obviously everybody is interested in the stable coin and not losing the money when they take them out, which is fully understandable. So the $1 million raffle might have to change into something else with a lot smaller gifts and more gifts for everybody. We will have to see exactly how that's gonna go. Now look at the coin development here. We have mentioned before that when we get around to the end of the month, beginning of the new one, people are selling off. We have seen this before. And definitely also with this unlimited now starting 1st of March, we have seen some massive sell-offs here, and up to 46 million, as you can see. And that was on xt.com. The price has really dropped. Don't forget that last week it was at 0.002, and now it's actually all the way down to 0.0006. And we had to put another digit in here also to get it, 74. And definitely not a very good development. You can see the red ring up there in the corner is where we came from last week. So 2/3 of the coin value has gone down the drain. CoinStore is basically the same story. Also here it has dropped, and we also see some massive selling. So up here it's about 34 million from what we can see. Also incredibly high. And if you have a look at just the small little red and green, you can see that the volume was extremely low all last week, right up until we came to the end and the beginning of the month here, and then everybody starts selling off. Solar Kingdom, we are not selling off. We are still building this one up. And as I mentioned before, we are using the Solar Farm 1 and 2 platform basically to load over some money into this instead. Our fresh value has gone up by 0.05 BNB in the last week. So we haven't really put much new over there. But the reactor value is up. So it's now past the 2 BNB and basically gone up by more than half a BNB, 0.58. So good development here. At the same time, our allowance was also 3 BNB last week. That is basically how much you can take out of the platform, and we only put 1 in, so no. And since then, you can see we are now up in an allowance that we can take out 3.15 BNB. So definitely also moving forward, but no harvesting as it is right now. If we have a look at the BNB and the development here, it's a bit similar to what we have seen on Bitcoin. We left it up there past the 300 mark, 310, 312 last week. And since then we had a drop and then some recoveries and then some sideways trading here. And at the moment we are just below $300 for the BNB, but it's still a good price compared to what we have seen end of 2022. Now, what is not good, and this is not a mistake, 0% on both Blaze Broker and IG Broker when trading the money tree. We basically had 2 weeks now where nothing has come in, no new trades. We had one that has been hovering around for 2 or 3 weeks. But luckily, in this particular week that we are in right now, we have seen some trades are coming in, and you should see the effects of that on the post through our weekend. But it has been very, very quiet now for a couple of weeks, and obviously that is not very good because it's very difficult for us to try and assess the EA when we have, I think until now, we have about 30 trades, which is not really very impressive. So overall, the money tree for February made a bit of money. So the Blaze Broker came in at 2.4% and the IG Broker came in at 2.1%. There is some slight differences in here, and obviously we will try and cover them in future videos once we have some more details and information. So more trades basically give us a better view of what exactly this EA is capable of. And you can find out more yourself also. Go on our website here and you will find these two buttons to click. So one for the Blaze FX Blue link, and it will show you all the trades that it has done. And the same thing with the other one for the IG. We are trying to compare the different brokers, and we can also see that the current trades that came in seems to have some differences in between the two brokers, and we're gonna in a later video here also try and have a look at that compared to what the developers has. Now a new video is out, and we made that over the weekend. And this is about the profit retriever and a bit of a strange phenomenon that we actually saw in last week's trading. We saw a couple of losses, and the profit retriever normally never loses out. But this was down to holiday. In the US, it was down to something on the broker side. And we have a lot more about it in this particular video here. You can see exactly what we experienced and what we saw. Now, as you know, we have plenty of signals here that we are trading ourselves, and we also have for the copy-link trading. We have them all in here. At the moment, there is 23 part of our portfolio itself, and they are doing extremely well, despite the video that you just saw here that we have some hiccups, and we definitely lost a bit of money. But again, we don't really care too much because the gains are so much bigger. And as you will see here, we have now been trading this particular portfolio for 350 days. We haven't crashed anything here, so in a long time it's extremely stable. And the balance for the 23 would be 230,000. You can see the balance now is up to 424. Equity is 410. And so basically the floating profit is extremely low also, especially for the profit retriever, because it is high drawdown. But we are below 14,000 at the moment. Closed profits, 194,000. And don't forget, we didn't have all 23 running back in end of March last year. We only started with 4 or 5. So it has really been impressive. So the net profits for January was 30,000, the highest we ever had. And in February, despite the hiccups and despite some of the losses that we found, which has nothing again to do with Expo 4X, it nothing to do with our settings, and it has nothing to do with the profit retriever itself, but it's the circumstances behind it. But we still made $24,000 in February, which is a very short month. So extremely happy with this and continue the nice development. If we have a look at the week 8 and the top 5 EAs here, they have also done extremely well. We can see the US 30 index continues to do very, very well. 10.5% for the week, extremely good. New Zealand Swiss francs is at 6.6, as the same as Aussie Japanese, so they've done quite well this week. British pounds USD, we have 2 different ones in there, so this is the second one, and we have 4.7%. And then British pounds AUD 4.2. Overall, those top 5 made $3,253 here, and equal to 6.5% just for the week. Extremely good numbers as usual when we talk about the profit retriever. Even bigger numbers here we have, and these are not even the all-time highs. That is far from it. I believe the all-time high at the moment we have is about 16,000 in a month on the top 5 alone. But let's have a look at the Aussie Japanese. Continues to do quite well. 41% or more than $4,000 is definitely something to write home about. You can see the US 30 index extremely stable at the moment, 30.5% or more than $3,000 here too. Aussie USD number 2, 24.6%. New Zealand USD 14.6, Aussie USD 12.6, and those 5 together, if you would have traded those together on our signals here, would have made you $12,328 or 24.7%. Some impressive numbers. We cannot say how often we continue to be astonished by the trading of this particular robot. And that's why we have made this particular video here too. And there's actually 2 reasons why we have made this, because we want to share our winning strategy. So for the people who want to buy their own robots and try and trade it, we try to give you some hints on how we do ours. And for the people that say, well, I'm not really interested in this, but I want to be sure that I copy some good signals, then this is also the video for you, because you can go in and see in how much detail we are actually going into to make sure we have very good and stable results overall for the profit retriever. And as you can see, it reflects in the profits. Now, if you go to the Expert Forex homepage here also, you will see the weekly changes in the links, and you have a whole list of different signals that are in there. This is for the past 8 weeks, and they are still a bit misleading because some signals have basically started off with the high lot sizing, very aggressive, and then later on they have dropped down the lot sizing, grid sizing, things like this. But we still find that we have 12 signals in the top 30, and that again means that what we are doing here actually works very well, and we can see more and more are copying these signals, and we can see more and more is actually making very good money on this copy link service. So if you are choosing our signals, or you're choosing some of the other brokers that are out there also doing extremely well, this is definitely the way to get started into Forex trading. Now, if you want to know more about this, as always, we have on our website here 2 sections. So one, if you want to trade this for yourself, we have a bunch of videos to help you get started. And if you think that this is simply too much, or you don't have time for all these settings and updates and God knows else what that comes with this robot, then you go to the copy link trading service, and you find all the details that you need over there instead. There is no reason why you can't get involved with it. But as always, start off with demos, try and get a feel for what is actually happening here. Now, Alex has also made a couple of videos this week, and the one in here actually came a bit out of one of our other videos that you saw. We took some small losses, and he is also in this particular one mentioning here what can influence the Forex market. That has nothing to do with the robot itself or the settings that you are using. A very good video also, again, to show how detailed and comprehensive things can be in the Forex market. So please go and have a look at that one. Second one here is a new series that Alex has also started, and we are looking very much forward to this one. This is the FTMO account, and how you can start doing that basically means trading other people's money. So if you have a robot and if you have a stable income, then this is definitely the video to start off with. He only gives the headlines in this. We are expecting a lot more to come in the future, and hopefully also the right robots that can actually cope with these special demands. And that's what we had for you in this week's news report. As always, we hope you enjoyed these different news. We will make sure that all the links are there for you in the future. And please just give us a thumbs up, a comment if you have any. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed our news report. So please don't forget to like and add your comment below, as we would love to get your feedback. But before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to keep the notification bell turned on. That way, you will never miss any of our future videos. We hope to see you back on this channel very soon.